Welcome back, everyone. So when exactly will those $1,400 stimulus checks be sent? Let's discuss the details in this video. We're also going to cover an update specifically for those on Social Security benefits and how the stimulus package could increase payments for those on benefits as well. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'd also like to thank my sponsor, Webull. They've partnered with me to provide free stocks for my viewers, valued up to $1,800. It's completely free and takes 2 minutes. All you need to do is open an account using my link. The link is in the description of this video, just below the like button. Feel free to sell the stocks immediately to use the money if you'd like. Just make sure to fully open your accounts and then click on the green button that says Get Free Stocks. Okay, we're going to cover expected payment dates for the stimulus check and the stimulus package as a whole, as well as a specific update for those on Social Security benefits as well. But first, let's recap exactly what's expected to be included in this stimulus package. Now, last night, House Democrats released their first draft of this bill. Now remember, this is just a draft. They are still negotiating on it in the House. They will have to vote on a bill, approve it, and then send it to the Senate for complete approval. However, we do have a really good idea of what is expected to be included in this package. First of all, that unemployment boost, pretty good news overall. It is expected to be $400 per week, and multiple reports are saying it's either going to last until the end of August or the end of September. It's still a little bit unclear, but again, this is just a draft. The final bill will still be negotiated. Of course, this will still include everyone who was included in the previous unemployment boosts, like those who are self-employed, gig workers, as well as people who already exhausted the regular state benefits as well. Of course, those $1,400 stimulus checks, they have drafted a bill at a $1,400 stimulus check, and the good news is everyone who qualified for those first two stimulus checks would qualify for this one as well. There was a lot of talk of lowering the income threshold for who would qualify, but House Democrats did not do that, and they stuck to the exact same cutoffs and income requirements as the first two stimulus checks. It is also going to include adult dependents. So really good news, because a lot of people who were adult dependents did not receive those first two stimulus checks, including a lot of people on Social Security benefits. So this is really good news because a lot more people on Social Security benefits are expected to receive this next stimulus check. Of course, House Democrats included that $300 per month stimulus boost for those who have kids. Everyone's been talking about this. That child tax credit, which would be $3,600 if you have a child under 6 years old, and $3,000 for a child 6 years up to 17. And this would be paid out in monthly payments for an entire year, starting in either June or July, meaning that if you have a kid, you would receive either $250 or $300 per month for an entire year. Guys, that is really, really good news. But honestly, I really think they need to include something like this for those on Social Security benefits as well. Again, Biden promised a $200 per month stimulus for those on Social Security benefits. We have yet to see that come to fruition, but we should have a lot of updates on that soon, guys, so don't forget to subscribe. However, this is a really good tax break for those who have kids. Now, this is different from the additional child care tax credit. So if you have a kid and you make less than $75,000 per year as an individual or less than $150,000 per year as a married couple, you will get that full child tax credit no matter what your income is. So even if you paid zero taxes because your income was so low, you would still get this tax credit paid monthly for an entire year. Now, the child care tax credit is an additional tax credit, but you have to have had paid taxes to get this, and also you had to have had paid money for someone to babysit your child. That is specifically what this is for, and that is up to $4,000 for one child and $8,000 for 2 children or more, and it would only cover 50% of your babysitting expenses. So basically, in order to get the full $4,000, you would have had to have spent $8,000 on childcare, if that makes sense. So the childcare tax credit will apply more to people who can actually afford to pay for babysitters, right? If that makes sense. But everyone will be getting this child tax credit of up to $3,600 per year and $300 per month, if that makes sense. Also, Biden is going to include that $25 billion in rental assistance, and that is the bulk of this package. There's a lot of other things, but as far as direct payments to the people, that is the meat of this first draft of the bill. But when exactly will these payments go out? Okay? Well, bottom line here, best case scenario right now, we're looking at the end of the first week of March. Worst case scenario, the very end of March. And the more likely scenario, the middle of March is a pretty good estimate, guys, and I'm going to explain why. So currently, the House is drafting their bill, and they are expected to have the final bill by February 22nd, right? And again, they said the week of February 22nd, and that's a Monday. So guys, we can already count on that being the end of the week, that Friday, which is, I believe, February 27th, okay? So here we are at the end of February. The House has just voted and approved this bill. Then they have to send it to the Senate. Let's say the Senate debates this for just a week. A week would be pretty quick at this point because Democrats have a really strong majority in the House, but they don't in the Senate, which means even if just one or two Democrats in the Senate disagree, they can really hold up negotiations if they don't get what they want. This is why it is expected to take even longer in the Senate, right? But let's say best case scenario, it takes them a week. Now we're at the end of the first week of March. They approve it in the Senate, but they will have amendments, right? Because they're going to change things. One thing that will most likely change is that $15 minimum wage that Democrats included in this package in the House, right? So these amendments will then be approved in the Senate. Then, since it was amended, they will have to send it back to the House to then approve those amendments, at which point they'll send it to Joe Biden, and he will completely approve this package. So you can see how this will take at least a few weeks, right? But again, it's going to take at least 2 more weeks in the House. Best case scenario, 1 more week in the Senate, and then the House would immediately approve that, bringing us to the end of March the end of the first week of March as a best case scenario. Now, a more realistic scenario is that the House takes 2 weeks, the Senate gets it at the beginning of March, and then the Senate takes 2 weeks to negotiate this, to debate this, create their amendments, then approve it in the Senate, and then pass it back to the House. Now, a lot of people have been saying in the comments, why is it taking so long if Democrats have quote-unquote complete control? Well, the fact is they have such a slim majority in the Senate that the debate is going to take a little bit longer because some moderate Democrats will not agree to everything in this package, right? So they're still going to have to negotiate within their own party. Again, guys, this package will be approved, and there's a 99% certainty this package will be approved in March. But the fact that it's going to take so long in the Senate is why mid-March is a more realistic scenario, because if it takes the Senate 2 weeks, they approve their amendments, they'll pass it back to the House. The House is expected to approve those amendments quickly, and then Joe Biden would sign it that very same day as well, obviously. Now, that is the most realistic scenario. Worst case scenario here, negotiations in the House take longer than expected as well. Now, although Democrats do have a stronger majority in the House, they don't have the strongest majority, right? There still is some negotiating to be done, and the fact that things always take longer in Congress than we expect is why I'm throwing this scenario out there. So let's say the House takes 3 weeks. So now we're at the end of the first week of March when the Senate gets this bill. Now let's say it takes the Senate 2 or 3 weeks. Now we're nearing the end of March, right? So you see how that could pan out. So these are your 3 most likely scenarios. The end of the first week of March, the middle of March, which is the more realistic scenario, and then a worst case scenario, the end of March. And I'm saying the end of March because Democrats and Republicans are supposed to go on recess at the end of March, and we all know that they do not want to skip another recess. There's also the fact that the unemployment boost is going to expire in the middle of March as well, and Democrats really want to approve this package before that happens. But what about that $15 minimum wage? And how would that affect Social Security benefits? Well, first of all, there's a lot of controversy around this, and let me know in the comments if you think the minimum wage should be increased to $15 per hour. On the one hand, it would pull a lot of people out of poverty. Experts are in complete agreement that those at the very bottom, those who make minimum wage, would be thrust out of poverty, and that is a really, really good thing. At the same time, a lot of experts think it would cost us some jobs. Some experts have even said recently it could cost us up to almost 1 million jobs, right? Which could further make unemployment worse. At the same time, if minimum wage is increased to $15 per hour, this could benefit people on Social Security benefits greatly. First of all, those who are not yet retired would be making more money, meaning once they did retire, they would receive more Social Security benefits because they earned more money while they were working, if that makes sense. We all know that is basically how Social Security is calculated. Now, secondly, those who are about to retire, so those who are going to retire in the next few years, might receive a boost in Social Security benefits as well, and that is because the average wage index would go up if minimum wage is increased to $15 per hour, right? So bottom line here, as wages in the country go up overall, Social Security benefits go up as well, basically to adjust for that increase in average wages and increase in inflation, increase in cost of living, right? So if you increase wages as a whole in the country, you will indirectly increase Social Security benefits as well. Of course, this would only apply to those who have not retired yet. Those who are already on benefits would still continue to receive those same benefits, only adjusted for their annual COLA increase, right? But guys, overall, that $15 minimum wage, I think, is a really good idea. It would help millions of people get out of poverty. It would help lower childhood hunger, as well as indirectly increase Social Security benefits. But with that said, although this $15 minimum wage has been included in that first draft of the House Democrats bill, there is a lot of skepticism as to whether or not it will make it in the final package. Now, basically all Republicans are against this, which doesn't really matter, right? Democrats can approve this in the Senate even with 0 Republican votes. However, there are some moderate Democrats against this as well. So we'll have to see. Will Joe Manchin be against this? Will other moderate Democrats in the Senate be against this as well? And will this be a casualty in the bill that is amended out in order to approve this package? Guys, we'll have to wait and see, but that is my estimation as to when you should receive that $1,400 stimulus check. I also just recapped what is in the first draft of House Democrats' proposed stimulus bill. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you updated on negotiations in the House, negotiations in the Senate, and when exactly those stimulus checks will be sent out. And if you made it this far into my video, guys, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really means the world to me, and I really do appreciate every single view. And guys, stay strong out there. Help is coming soon. But with that said, thanks again for watching and have a great day.